for that keyboard player over there.
Because I'm a The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 84th edition of the Community Pulse. And this week we have Chris Lane Sr., who's going to be featured co-host for none other than Mr. Smith. And when you got it, you got it. I've never seen this chat so lit up and so many people here to catch a glimpse and hear what Mr. Smith has to say. I'm really excited about this. As you all know, Mr. Smith is the drummer and producer of Ninth Gate. So, yes, thank you, Laurie, for allowing us to open the show with your wonderful son, Cam. To those of you who are watching on replay or just came in, that was Laurie Mishmosh's son, Cameron. Just an amazing drummer, an amazing kid, and Laurie, you're an amazing mom, and we all know that. So, awesome. All right, notable streaming channels. I'd like to shout out what you saw at the beginning of the show with the show opener from Ninth Gate. These notable music streaming channels are the channels that I feel I owe most gratitude. I have most gratitude towards for helping me get to this point, introducing me to so many amazing people. And on this day, happy Thanksgiving Day to all my fellow Canadians out there. Starting with you, Martin Kelly. I saw you in there. All right. Notable music channels. We start off with Jade Starr with her live interviews every Thursday at 5 p.m. The times have changed and Frank's all caught up. 5 p.m. this week, Jade's going to have Russ 88, 89, and they're going to be talking about the American charity album that the deadline was today, and unfortunately, I'm still not done. Metalhead Hippie with the Random Hangouts. He's still around. I think he's streaming right now. And yeah, we owe a ton of gratitude to Metalhead Hippie. That's actually JJ and I talk often. I came in through Pete Johns and JJ came in through Metalhead Hippie. So there you go. Camp Chime open mic every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring up an instrument or a mic, whatever you want. Come in, jump up on panel, and you're in for an evening of fun. Francis and Ian, the replay every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Yes, and we have some shout-outs for Ian this week. So great to see Ian back. I missed him for the last few weeks. And Thomas Christ, You Rock, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. He has a new format. I missed last Wednesday's. Just got a lot going on in my world these days. All fine. But I'll catch it this week, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You have a song. I'm pretty sure it works the same. Fill out the form and hit submit, and your music will be played. Pete Johns every Sunday at 6 p.m. Your Music Live. That's how I came into the community. And yeah, so same deal. All you have to do is fill out the form, hit submit, and your music will be played. And then there's Laurie. Friday night hang every Friday at midnight. Laurie helps us kick off the weekend, and I'm usually in bed by then, so mine's already kicked off. And it's just a beautiful show. A lot of beautiful people in the chat come up on panel. It's just an amazing show. Thank you, Laurie, for all that you do. All right. That was the longest opener that we've had outside of Synthworks, was just as long. And it was just a beautiful song. And that's Johnny Hoy and the Bluefish. I guess I should name the band and not make it all about Cam. But we do because we can, because it's Laurie's son. All right. This week we got another gentleman from the UK. I met in these communities, I guess maybe about 3-4 years ago on Metalhead Hippie channel. And his name is Hobbs. Many of you are already subscribed to Hobbs. He's a frequent on this show, a channel member, and a frequent, especially on the Metalhead Hippie channel. I'm going to let JJ do a little introduction. We thought we'd add something different. Let's just bring this up, and I'll mute my...
This week's featured channel is Hobbs. Hobbs describes his channel as one of just music, foxes, hedgehogs, and cats. When making music with his human friends, he adds guitar, bass, and drums, as well as doing the recording, mixing, and mastering of the tracks and videos. With a range from down and dirty rock and roll to softer acoustic vibes, all of Hobbs's work sets a solid groove that you will dig.
Tell me the reason why you so committed treason now on me. And do you still remember me? Am I just a memory? I'm imprisoned by my fear. I am tethered by my fear. I'm defined by my fear.
When you're gonna be the one, when we're gonna get it on, when you're gonna love me again,
when you're gonna shake it up, when can I move in my stuff, when you're gonna love me again,
when you're gonna say hello, when you're gonna...
Best as ever been, best as ever been, best as ever been. Trigger, your hand is big, but my hand is bigger. Time's not a healer, it's just a painkiller. Killer, 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 I heard you talking in your sleep. Said something about me, and I already told soldier, I battle like a soldier in this small town. And I feel the upper
All right. Yeah. Absolutely love this artist, Hobbs. Real cool dude, and we often talk via email. Please go offer up some support. It'll be pinned at the top of the chat throughout the show's entirety. So, yeah, please go offer up some support. That promo reel is live now on the channel, and yeah, let's go support. All right, I don't want to waste too much more time. Chris, I guess he found his way through traffic and is home, and let's bring him up on the panel. Add to stage. Add.
Hello, Frank. How are you?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I saw your message, and yeah, you got here perfect timing, because with the intro, it usually runs 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, never know with Denver traffic, but
Yeah.
it was a little lighter tonight. So, hi there.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I know Mr. Smith immediately asked for you, and he,
Nice.
as I relayed, he had some real cool choice words to say about you, and I'll let
People
you guys
often have
discuss
choice words
your
to say
little-
about me.
your little affairs, and
Oh, you said nice, though. Oh, well, that's
I
different.
said nice stuff.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. Yeah. So, yeah. Let me just do a couple quick shout outs so we stay on track. And then I'm going to ask you what you have going on, what's coming up, and all that fun stuff. So, everybody, the past week's premieres, as you all know, this week I'm not feeling too good. So, I really had to cut it down to 59 shout outs for the premieres. So, the rest are on the Community Pulse 84th edition playlist. DJs or folk punks putting out the link. Don't forget, every week check out the community calendar that's run by DJ Big Red. It's a website, YouTube channel. Please go check it out. You get the updates if anybody has anything coming up or anything like that. If you can't get a hold of me, which is sometimes impossible, you can always get a hold of DJ Big Red. All right, Harriet B had a track called You. Paul, great to see Paul up and running. If I could, Frank Mel, Read My Mind, Emery Island for You. Martin Kelly, ding. Happy Thanksgiving, Martin. All right, please take just one. Dell, Buttercup, Fields, D. Lynn, Vat GTR, Enigma Bird, David Fox Music. Please go check that channel out as well. Sticks for Gun, Catherine McChrystal, Forest of the Wolf, Gordon Lee Weaver had a release, Phoenix Falling, Busking Setup for Fallout. Adorable Anarchy is back, and Tim with the Smug Cast. Vintage Tone, my brother, wicked guitarist. And our good friend Mary from Italy. Ciao Bella, I see you in there. Russ 88, 89, 90 Joints, of course. Catherine Short, yes. Temporary as it may be. And then Tony McGreal out of Ireland. Colors of Autumn. Chris, what do you have going on, brother?
Well, as I've related a couple of times, I've always wanted to be on these cancer albums because I think it's a great cause. I'm a cancer survivor. The first one came around, though, and I thought, well, I don't have a song. And then the song God's Gifted me 2 weeks before due date, and so got one on. Second album, I thought for sure, well, I'm not going to make this one, the Canadian one. But once again, a song dropped out of the heavens, and I was able to be on it. And this album, for the Americans, I thought, well, typical, I'll be an American and I'll miss the damn album. But no. Third time. I can't win the lotto. I can't win the spin on Pete's channel, but I'm winning this one. And I have a song on. I got it in even early enough that I sent it to Russ and then listened to the mix and went, damn it, I can do better than that. And I remixed it and sent it a second time. So I'm in. And
so I got the impression, you kind of did that Moses thing. You went up to the mountains in Denver and came down with two tablets with 2 songs.
It's exactly what happened. I went up and spent time with my lovely wife, as we do every September, for our anniversary, year 36, boys and girls. And yeah, just being in nature, being with some friends, having a little mountain whiskey, just works for me. And yeah, I came down with, and we're working on the second song right now. I've recruited a couple of my friends to play on it, and but there's no deadline for that one. So
that's amazing.
So yeah, so I'm feeling good, feeling creative, and just nice to be involved because it's such a great charity. And folks, if you're not aware, this is one of those things where if you're involved in this, whether you're on the album or not, you can buy the album, which I always have, and every single penny goes directly to these kids. So you can be generous knowing that it's not like a lot of these foundations who take a lot for administration, that every single penny goes directly to those kids. So keep that in mind. And when you buy the albums, mark them up generously.
Yes. Well said. All right. Chris, as the co-host, you selected an amazing track, I might add. One of your tracks titled Beautiful Scars. Let's tell us a little bit about it, and we'll give it a spin.
Well, I think people would know from my song titles, I know a lot about scars and a lot about whiskey. Interestingly enough, the two are not related. In my particular case, anyway, I got most of my scars playing sports.
In mine, they are.
Yeah, but yeah, this one right here, a guy skated over my forehead, so that was. It's amazing how much you bleed from right there.
Yeah. No, I was referring to the whiskey scars.
Yeah. Now, see, I've managed to not inflict any under the influence on myself in that way. So, but. And it was just one that what I wanted to express in this song was you can have a relationship, and even if it's a good relationship that doesn't quite go the way you think, it writes on you in some ways, a scar. And that's why a beautiful scar. You can have a relationship with somebody, and I choose to think of on all the positives of it. So that's the basis of this song.
Beautiful. Let's give it a spin. Chris Lane Sr., ladies and gentlemen, and everybody. What am I doing? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Perfect. There we are. Okay, well, that was amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Big assist from Pendar on the video there. I have a love-hate relationship with videos. You need to do them and everything, and I like the process of them, but I dislike the filming. And
oh yeah, I can write a song in 6 hours, and it takes me 6 months. I'm still working. I got 2 more videos to do for my last album, which came out 2024 February.
I feel you, Frank.
It's
I finally got the video for the first Cancer album done 3 months ago.
Yeah, oh yeah, I still have to. That's right, Laurie. I forgot all about that song. We haven't even posted it. Yeah, this one's going to be really good. All right, Chris, why don't we bring on Mr. Smith? Let's do it. All right, add to stage. I'm going to bring you guys up here, and it's all yours, Mr. Smith. Great to have you, brother.
Frank, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on. And Chris, bless you for doing this as well. I'm really glad you said yes. Thank you. You were my go-to person straight away.
We had such fun when you joined me on my show, and I appreciate the opportunity to have a revisit with you and hang out with. I mean, I went out and had my hair done and everything, had my eyebrows trimmed because I wanted to look my best for Mr. Smith.
You do look good.
Make my goo-goo eyes.
Yeah, you do look good.
Okay, let's not get all fucking weird here.
Okay, let's review. I'm the co-host. It's gonna be weird. Let's just get it out. Let's get it out of the way right now.
I love it.
And we never know where Schmitty's gonna land. But great having you on. You came into the community just as a force of nature, and it was, wow, who is this masked man? And dang, what a talent and everything. But I'm going to ask, when you were a wee Mr. Smith or maybe Master Smith, I mean, you didn't start with the mask, right? You had like a training mask, like maybe a little Halloween one with a plastic one, or how did you develop into the mask that you wear now?
Yeah, well, I started like we all do, with just like a bed sheet with 2 holes cut for the eyes.
Okay.
And that was me, the scary drummer. That's how it all started, really.
Oh, fair enough.
But then I found it difficult to drum with the blanket around me. So
yeah, now fair enough. But same question, but for musical instruments. Did you really start as a drummer? Did you come out of the womb with sticks, or did you start on another instrument?
I started as a singer originally, and you couldn't stop me singing originally. So it was a strange one. My grandma, out of nowhere, when I was 4 years old, bought me a little guitar. Proper little wooden guitar, and I used to wander around the house singing in a really bad fashion, and then I ended up in front of everybody at school. So if we did the play Oliver, I was Oliver, I was straight at the front, and then it came to doing my exams, and for some reason I lost a bit of confidence in my voice, and my music teacher said, well, why don't you choose an instrument to play? So I taught myself to play bass, and I never looked back. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And then obviously there was a few lads in school who wanted to form a band. We were going to be the next U2, we were going to take over the world, as you do. And for a short while, I was the bass player. And then we found out that we hated our drummer and he hated us. So, which is
pretty
often
common.
the case. Yeah, it's common, isn't it? Yeah. So we got rid of the drummer. We parted ways, and we knew a bass player, one of our friends. So he came in and played bass. I went out and bought a drum kit, and I started playing drums, and then really never looked back from that point. And I just taught myself.
And that is a very interesting progression in that I guess there's kind of 2 kinds of drummers. There's guys that are guitar players, and they put down their guitar and they go sit behind the kit for whatever reason. And of course, every drummer, it seems like they want to play guitar. But very unusual for someone to be a bass player and go, you know what? I've never played drums before, but dadgummit, that's what I want to do. So I have always found that part of your story quite interesting. certainly you have the rhythmic foundation being a bass player, but you've got really, really strong drummer chops. Who, when you transitioned, who were you looking to for inspiration, or how did you decide that, okay, this is a guy or a set of people that I kind of want to emulate on drums a little bit?
To be honest, I was kind of blessed with the whole thing. The chaplain to my school was very, very kind to me. Because when you play drums, you are the neighbour from hell, or the child from hell, or just a person from hell. Who wants to be around somebody learning to play the drums? Nobody. It's like somebody building a shed with the wrong hammer, you know? But I was really lucky when my chaplain to the school said, you can use my church in the week. So 5 nights a week, you can have the church. And I used to take my drum kit and my Rush CDs, and I chased Neil Peart. And I chased that man's coattails for 2 years.
Sorry.
I never caught him.
Oh, I remember. I put the bell
I
away
actually
because the
know,
cat was playing it.
I hid it behind the name as well. There you go.
Well done.
Thanks. But yeah, I chased Neil's coattails for 2 years. I never actually caught him. In fact, I never even got onto the same street as him, really. But I attribute the whole thing to Neil Peart. As far as I'm concerned, that man taught me to play drums, you know.
Well, I very much, and this is a bit of a segue, but they just announced this week that they're getting back together. They're going to play dates. They have a drummer that they like a lot, and I think it's fantastic. Now, of course, I've seen some of the fanboy hate because, haters gotta hate, right? But I'm pretty excited for them, and I'm not a huge Rush fan. I've just always very much admired as individuals. Their musicianship is otherworldly. Yeah. But I'm glad to hear them getting back out on the road and playing their favorites.
Yeah, I mean it's been difficult for them, obviously, because they spent 40 years on the road together, and then when Neil passed in 2000, whatever it was, well, the last gig was 2015. I think he passed about 2.5 years afterwards, 2019 maybe, and I think it's just been really difficult for them because that's all they've ever known. They've been on the road, they've been in a band, they've written and played their own songs, and it's been a pretty disparate 10 years for them. And I saw a little, like a short video that they put out on their channel, and it was Alex and Geddy, and they were just talking about they'd got together in Geddy's studio and they'd just been messing around and playing a couple of the songs, and they just realised how much they loved doing it and how much they missed it, really, and that life moves on, which, sometimes it's hard to swallow, but life really does move on, and it was actually Geddy's bass technician, Scotty, that said, why don't you have a look at Annika? So Annika Niles, they brought her up to Canada and they just had a bit of an experiment and they ended up loving it, and they've decided to plan a tour in 2026, and I couldn't be happier because the last thing I wanted for Rush was for Neil's passing to be the end of such great musicians, because they entertain people for 40 years on the road. So if you want to keep going, lads, you keep going.
I think
so it's going to be great to see it.
And knowing, what I think I know about Neil Peart, I absolutely do not believe he would have wanted them to just sit around and do nothing.
Exactly.
He wasn't that kind of guy. And,
no.
But I'm sure it was hard for them.
Neil was the new guy in the band. He was the second drummer. They
Correct.
started off with John Rutsey on the first album.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
And Neil was always known as the new guy in the band. So I think, he would have he'd be clapping along somewhere. He'd be really enjoying it. And Annika Niles, for anybody who doesn't know, Annika Niles is just supremely talented,
Yeah, look her up. She is a monster, and she's going to fit in well, I believe, because she's got the technique, but she's got a lot of power. That was the thing that impressed me. Is just, you can't can't wimp it out on a Rush song, and she's got all the power she needs to.
It's tight as F. I saw Rush back in 1976 or 77, and it's crazy that they're coming out in 2026. But I think it was 15, 16 years old at a high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
It's just amazing. Yeah, I was really excited. At first, I thought it was a bunch of AI things, just fake news and stuff like that. And then I bought right in, then I read about it, and this is amazing stuff. So a local Toronto band coming back together. I'm going to do some shout outs, and then we're going to continue with this if you guys are okay with it.
Cool.
We also have Roadie's Jam Cave. Wicked Games did a nice live cover. Noura's guitar, I just saw Noura in here. If you're a beginner guitarist or want to pick up some simple chords with lyrics and stuff, it's amazing. It's free. Please go check out Noura's channel. Michelle Fretz, going to California. Yes. She's Canadian. We got Dwight Carr, Move On, and Brad Example and Dave Baum had a nice release called the Deceiver. Poison Whales, Robbie Stingle, Ain't Anywhere, 11 Drums, Colorful Energy. Yes, I'll let you ring that bell. Metalhead Hippie Fun Ride Halloween edition. That was a fun release. Masha, who's going to be on this show, had another premiere. And I caught the last, or 2 weeks ago, I just seemed to miss it by 15 minutes. Great artist. Please go check out Mosh Sia. Hugh Caldwell, Just Remember I Love You. A nice little collab, full band cover with a whole bunch of these fine artists from our community. Wes Plays Music. I saw Wes in here earlier, and I think he described what type of music he does play. Brilliant producer, mixes. He's had about 2 or 3 posts this week of him playing live, just amazing, and mixing songs and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. Welcome to this community, Wes. Great to meet you. The Skeptics, Ian Luckett and Tremor Bear, Ain't Got No Money, John Lemon and Lemonade. Mr. Smith, that's one of the artists I wanted you to check out if you hadn't already. Please go check him out. He a brilliant writer poetry, and I love what you're doing, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about it. So please go check that out. Brian Drums, Smooth, the Hawkbirds, yes. Another Canadian band that hopefully will be on the show soon, did Ramones cover. Tales Told in the Dark, thank you. I got your email, Tales, and I'm really excited to do that little thing we're going to be doing. Bird Finger, Rocky Raccoon Reading, the Beatles. Really cool stuff. It's 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 in the morning is when I heard that. It's pretty cool. All right, John Schur. Stephen Ewart, who's going to be closing the show today with his rendition of Change the World, and Adam Holtz. And I'm going to stop there.
All right.
A lot of great stuff happening.
You believe this guy running his own show?
I know. It's incredible, isn't it?
Good stuff. No, I got to say, Frank, the thing you do to highlight everybody, it's very selfless and very cool. So thank you for doing it. I know people have told you that, but hey, I'm co-host, so I get to tell you. And it's great to have everybody highlighted. People, do their thing, and sometimes you wonder, did anybody listen to this? Did anybody care? And it's nice that they get pointed up.
Well,
and especially as well, DJ Big Red with all the work he does.
Going to say, and folk punk, yeah,
awesome, yeah, and folk punk as well, and Laurie and Justine with all the work they do. They split the work out between them and stuff. It's absolutely fabulous.
Absolutely. Yes. As they say down south, all you all.
All you all.
All you all. Not just all you all.
spooky.
Well, let's-
That's quite the long handle. I guess that's really annoying for everybody, right?
Well, this is the new YouTube thing, boys and girls. Get used to it because it's going by the name that you put in, and you can edit it. Luckily, because I have no imagination, just Chris Lane Sr. Everything. So, and everybody's got cool names, and you got Bird Fingers and Mishmoshes, and I don't know what I call my.
Well,
I
the
guess
Mix
Chris
Club
Lane
is just
Sr.
the Mix Club. That's so boring. What are we gonna do with that guy? What the fuck, Red?
I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Well, here's what we're going to do. Huevos. All right. There you go.
All right.
All right. So,
Let's not lose track.
yeah, absolutely not. So, Mr. Smith has slid over to drums, Neil Peart. Talk to me a little bit about, you're a vocalist, you're a guitarist, you're a bassist. What kind of influenced you a little bit in vocals and some of your other musical, what groups or what people did you look to and say and pull inspiration from?
I think realistically, the biggest part of my influence vocally has got to be the 80s. And I think guitar-wise as well, I have a real penchant for a clean Stratocaster with chorus on it. And a quite a simple hook on a vocal.
Yeah, pretty sparse and
Yeah. I really kind of go for that. So I think, because I've said this a couple of times recently as well, I honestly think the 80s and maybe up to about 95, I think music had something that's missing now, and it had a sense of hope. It gave you hope, like everything was going to be all right. And I've kind of rediscovered it with bands recently, bands like The Midnight, and they have that same feeling. It gives me this sense of, everything will be all right. And the 80s just encapsulated that. It had something magical, really.
I kind of agree. And the 80s gets slagged a lot, but it's unfortunate. There was a lot of great music in that time period.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had all the English, I don't even know what you would call those guys, but again, that kind of positive, and there was some ska influence in there. You can say what you want about all the LA hair bands in that time period. Those guys wrote great hooks,
Exactly.
I mean, it comes on the radio. You remember those songs, even though they were pretty lightweight, but super memorable. Everybody can remember driving in their car in the summer and listening to Poison or Rat or any of those guys. And you had those synth and sparse guitar-driven English bands. And, segued into some of the grunge stuff coming up. So a good era. And I definitely can hear that in your music, especially the way you handle that interplay of the bass and guitar.
Yeah, I tend to, like, I have different projects for different things. So in my own music, I do tend to go for that clean Strat sound, the sort of unless I'm doing acoustic stuff. But when it's like a full mix, it's some kind of homage or tip to the 80s, really. And then when I've got Dave that I work with doing the Method and Hamsters, that's where I can let out the Neil Peart prog side of me and push, different time signatures and all that kind of thing, because there's no vocals on it at all. So I'm kind of lucky, really, that I can let out different facets with different things,
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and talk about the Hamsters for a few minutes. You're not exactly on hiatus. You're doing some things, but I know that your bass player's had some health issues. And
he suffered really badly with tinnitus, and I'm not sure if he's going to come back, to be honest. I really don't know, because it hit him hard, and he's really struggled with it. He's just struggled in daily life, not just musically. It's not been great for him at all. And then myself and Dave have decided to carry on and still do stuff. As you can imagine, it's not the same.
Right.
But because we're not doing so much actual live work and we're streaming, it seems to make sense that we can still do it. but we're, fingers crossed. We're always hopeful that Andy will come back at one point.
That would be nice. Well, Townsend had terrible tonight's for a long time and got some treatment and got well enough that he could start touring again.
Yeah,
but it is
Chris
a long
Martin
road.
from Coldplay as well, the same. He suffered with it and he managed to sort it out. So, I mean, I know these people have got like the best medical care in the world.
Right.
They can afford it, but there's always hope, isn't there?
Yeah, well, and prayers for that. Miraculous things can happen in that respect, and hopefully, I can't imagine. I suffer from a little bit of it, and it doesn't affect me other than listening to my wife in crowded rooms. Gets a little dicey.
Right.
Well, I was lucky as well, really. Well, no, I don't really believe in luck. I was blessed. I was guided. When I was 19, I kind of got a job in a recording studio. I was on the brush, on the floor, you know what I mean? I was making cups of coffee and stuff. And it was linked to a band that I was playing in as well. I was playing bass for an album for this band that was based in the recording studio. And the engineer gave me the best piece of advice ever. He said, get yourself some in-ears and protect your ears. And I've done that ever since, and it was the best advice I've ever been given. I've never stood by a Marshall 4x12 without ear protection. I've never played drums without monitors as well. I've never played them live. The cymbals are, damaging. So it's been, I've been able to keep my hearing in tip-top condition, really.
No, and that is a blessing. I did pretty well at that, to the point that, I would have hearing tests later and people couldn't believe that I was a musician. But, I'm in my mid-60s now, and it's kind of added up. And of course, I've always shot firearms too, and that does not help your hearing, even with protection. So,
yeah.
But take care of your ears, folks, because if you can't hear, pretty deaf. Only one or two guys can be Beethoven, right?
Yeah, and I honestly, I think one of the first pieces of advice that I would give to anybody that is new to doing music is protect your hearing. Get yourself some in-ear monitors and protect your ears. Yep, there you go. Frank's got his headphones on as well. It's essential because the payback is long term. And it's easy to get lost in the moment and have things turned up to the max and be lost in it. But as regards longevity, protect your hearing.
Yep.
Yeah, well said. Actually, I have to go check mine because I've been itchy and stuff of late, but I've been doing a lot of, I don't know, maybe it's just a little virus. All
Hopefully.
right, what do you guys into playing one of the songs that we have? DJ's gonna send you the list. I'm sorry, Chris, I know you're running a little late and I forgot to send you the song list that we're playing for Mr. Smith, so he'll be sending it to you. But in the meantime, this first song is Gravity, and it's live. Mr. Smith, why don't you tell us a little bit about it before we give it a spin?
Okay. It's a strange way of expressing love because, love's often championed as this beautiful thing with hearts and flowers, and it's amazing and it's a pick-me-up and it's beautiful, but often as well, love is kind of crushing and it weighs heavily, but given certain circumstance. And this is really what this is about. Sometimes the burden of love is hard to carry. And that's what the song's based in, really, rather than it being elevatory like a lot of others.
Very cool. Let's give it a spin. Alive. Gravity.
The human species, we as a species, we have this gift of empathy. We can be kind. It's because we have this gift, we have this ability to feel empathy and to be kind to other people. The strongest people I know are also the kindest people I know. You become strong from being kind.
Take me to the river, lay me down, rest my head by peaceful waters. Take me to the river, lay me down, take this burden from my shoulders. Take me to the river, lay me down. Give my head some sense of order. Take me to the river, lay me down. Rest my head by peaceful waters. Getting kinda heavy, carrying this load, stretching out for me up the road. I'm feeling kinda weak now, crushed by gravity blow. Take me to some new place, lay me down, rest my head by peaceful waters. Take me to the river, lay me down. Give my soul time to collect its thoughts. Take me to the river, lay me down. Give my head some sense of order. Take me to the river, lay me down. Rest my head by peaceful waters. Getting kinda heavy, carrying this load, stretching out for me up the road. I'm feeling kinda weak now, crushed by gravity blow. Every day I tell myself it's just a case of letting go, letting go. Every day my heart just tells my head can't let go. It's getting kinda heavy, carrying this load, stretching out for me up the road. I'm feeling kinda weak now, crushed by the gravity of love.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right.
That's a great song.
Nice one. Nice
Maybe
one.
take a second, Mr. Smith, because maybe not everybody knows the story behind the narration there by our Nordic friend there. An interesting guy, and you turned me on to his channel, but maybe some of the folks are not aware. Maybe you can get them up to speed on that.
Yeah, his name is Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen. and he's a Nordic novelist, and he kind of he tries to keep the traditions alive, the early Nordic traditions. He does a lot of outside stuff, so if effectively bushcraft, but from the Nordic era.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great, what would you call it, social commentarist. And
yeah, and I would say a philosopher to a large extent.
Yeah, definitely. And that was just one of it was a tiny snippet from a speech that he was giving. It was somewhere around the COVID era that I lifted that from, because at the time I think he was discussing. We saw what happened when COVID happened. There were it's like with everything in the world, there were two sides to the story. It was split into two camps, and he's always advocated for kindness, basically, and for finding common understanding. And I think that's one of the most difficult things, isn't it? We all have opinions, and we all think we know the truth, and we see the truth, or we see reality for what it is. And quite often that there's a disparity between what we see and what other people present to us. And he tries to cut a middle ground and to provide common understanding. And that little speech was just a perfect example of that. And it lent itself to this idea of, with the lyric, strength, because sometimes things are hard to carry. And what he's saying about kindness and the kind people being the strong ones, I just thought was perfect for it. So if you don't know his channel, everybody in the chat, it's Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen, and you won't be disappointed. And he is a novelist as well, so there are books that you can buy.
Yes, worthy of a sub, and he is a fine son of Odin, and brings forward some of that.
Yeah.
As an Irishman, there's more than a little Nordic in my background, so I appreciate that very much. So let me backtrack a little bit. Did you have the song and heard his speech there and thought it's perfect, or was the song a little bit inspired by his speech?
No, I had the song, and it just seemed like a perfect opening to it. Because you know yourself, when you're doing a song, intros can be difficult, can't they?
Yeah.
So do you go straight into it, or do you just play around the chords for the verse a couple of times and then start singing, or do you write a particular intro? And it just fell into place with that. I just thought, this is great.
Yeah, it is really the perfect setup.
I can sit back and let him do the work. He did the heavy lifting for me, really.
Yeah, well, it's nice when that works out that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do a couple shout-outs. That's fantastic stuff. Darbase bass covers. Tracy Melly featured Sonic Flow. What Would We Do? Tracy's doing some originals now, so it's pretty cool. Please go check out her channel. The Amateurs, Gripper Stebson, Anthony Rufo, another brilliant guitarist. Pausing Guitars, David Cartret with Zombieland, a demo. Man, look at all these guitarists, all in order. Alaskan Rockstar, Abe the Band. Just fantastic musicians there. Wesley Media Hub, Dance, Rave, Mix, live stream. Please go check out his channel. Great supporter of this channel and many others out there. Paula Benson, always great to see this young lady. Rehearsal Time, a Canadian classic. Please go check it out. And I hung around OG McBagan's channel the other day for quite some time. I was just doing some work and chilling, and then I went on to the couch. I was just really tired, but a great channel. This like a radio channel format, and it's called Straight Weirdness Radio. Please go check it out. Swallow the Moon with Frozen, a new release. Hopefully, I know JJ's working on trying to get them on the show. James Myers and Chris Lane Sr. did a nice track, Say Goodbye, right? That was, I think, James did one of yours. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my song, and I
Yeah.
had asked James to play drums on it, which he did, and he released it as a drum cover.
That's amazing.
Nice, and I'm glad he did, because who knows when I'll ever get to the video.
I love it. Live to Fly channel, Black Sun, Death Cab for Cutie cover. Really good stuff, David. Let's just talk about a couple things and we'll get back to this. Change the World. As you all know, I think it's in the high 20s now, and we're approaching 30 different renditions of this little thing that JJ and I put together for the community to take the stems and do what they will with it. This one is Jerry and the Peacemakers. That features JJ himself, Jerry Gomes, Clayton Von Kluge, and yes, Hugh Caldwell. Nice little band that they've put together, and they've got their own rendition of Change the World. Pretty cool stuff. And as you all know, we're playing all the Change the World songs at the end of each show. I think we're on the 11th one now. And then upcoming to support and buy all 3 Music for Life Canadian charity albums. If you got it, whatever you can afford, every little bit will help. Today is the final day to submit Music for Life USA album. As far as I know, it's the 13th, but we're going to get more updates on Thursday. Please show up on Jade's channel Thursday at 5 p.m. Russ will be there, and they'll be tuning us into where we're at and stuff, and I'm a little behind on mine. Damn. Okay, come later this week, premiere is Jason Lemansky. He doesn't have an exact date, so that didn't help, but I'm going to shut it out. Thank you, Jason. Yes, later on this week it'll come, The Only Cure by Jason Lemansky. I'll stop there.
All right, well, very nice.
DJ goes, so what date? I don't know. He just said sometime this week, so that's cool.
Okay, well, I'd leave it open-ended, a little wiggle room. That's always good
Buona
stuff.
notte, Mary. Ciao. Yeah.
All right, good night. I want to backtrack on a little something, Mr. Smith. You had mentioned you were pushing a broom in the studio, and we're doing some bass work with basically a studio band. How did that morph into, obviously at this point, you have your own studio, you've done a tremendous amount of work in the studio. How did that kind of get added to your bag of tricks?
I sat at the back and I watched and learned. Basically, I kept my mouth shut so that they'd let me be there. And I watched and I learned. And then occasionally, because I was recording for this album, I was actually the bass player on this album. And I ended up helping the drummer as well with his drum tracks, because at this point I was already a drummer as well. And I just got involved in the process, and it was like, Chris, it was like falling into a different world, you know? I fell down the rabbit hole of musical production and the possibilities of what you could do. And to me, a mixing desk is something I kind of fall into, you know? And it's a world in itself. And it was just, basically, it was about keeping my mouth shut and listening at first.
And because of that, they were happy to mentor you a little bit. At what point did they turn you a little bit loose on the controls and let you start doing some of the stuff?
They actually went on holiday for 2 weeks and left me with the studio.
Huzzah!
I know. Wow. I could not believe it.
How nice is that?
I couldn't believe it. So, so I got a couple of friends in, who ex-school friends and sort of all band members, and we just lived it up for 2 weeks. I'd love to say it was sex, drugs and rock and roll, but it wasn't. It was just music. We just had such a good time making music, because, I mean, studios are expensive. Recording studios are very expensive. So to be given one for 24 hours a day for 2 weeks we basically just took full advantage of that because we weren't being charged by the hour. So we just piled in as much music as we could, and I learned on the fly. And then after that, I just took that and ran with it in my personal life. And then, you know, since then I've been saving up all my pennies to buy musical equipment every month.
Yeah, indeed. Well, what a tremendous opportunity. And I think that may be one of the things that we've lost a little bit. I was fortunate enough that, because I'm old, I actually went into a real recording studio and paid for it. And you got to have your stuff together because it's coming out of your pocket.
Yeah.
And it was a 16-track studio, so woo. You know, and
Big
our
time.
DAWs, we have hundreds of tracks available to us. Where I'm driving at is you can get a little lazy, and I'll fix it in the mix, I'll do this and other thing. And I think that little bit of actual studio training or experience would really benefit. So if you guys get the opportunity to do a little bit of that, it really is good for you. You can learn a lot in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and I think that it's that key point you made is about knowing what you're doing. So it's a little bit similar when bands go into rehearsal rooms and they say we're going to go and practice. Yeah, well, okay, practice your songs, but you actually need to rehearse them before you get there. You need to know what you're doing so that you don't waste everybody's time in that environment.
Yeah, and I mean, rehearsal spaces cost money too, and that's exactly the point. That's what separates you as more of a professional. Is like I'm going to show up prepared, and I'm going to be respectful of other people's time. And
yes, exactly. That's it exactly. And like you say, there's no better example of that than a recording studio because time goes so fast as well. You know, I mean, miking up a drum kit. I don't think many people realise how long it takes to mic up and get the sound right on a drum kit. You can be talking a full day, if not 2 days, to get it right, you know? So if the drummer doesn't know what he's doing by the end of that, very quickly you're at the end of the week and you've failed.
Yeah, and you're out a whole lot of cash and have nothing to show for it. So
exactly.
So how did you take that kind of discipline and your experience there and morph it into, because you're a tremendous songwriter, you've written some really excellent originals, and so how did you take that experience and have that shape what you do as a musician?
I think basically it's I got well versed in not being too hung up on some things, so I'm very quick with a delete button. If I don't get a feeling from it very quickly that it's working, it just gets deleted and moved on, and I don't waste any time. And then the moment I get something that I think, yes, that works, then I will repeat, get it right, record it. So it trims the process down even for me, and I don't waste my own time, and I don't spoil it for myself as well, you know. And moving on is essential. So I write the song, I've got the chords, and I'll decide to put the drum track in. But what I'll do is I'll put a rough drum track in. I'll think, right, yeah, great, and I'll do a one take, and then I'll sit back, and I'll come back to it tomorrow. I'll listen to it tomorrow, and usually I think, why have you put so many kick drums in it? Go back and do it again. Make it simpler. And that's key to most recordings, simplicity. Strip it back to its bare components, its essential parts. Because I was, in school, I was trained in classical stuff, so orchestral things. Now, for anybody who knows about orchestral things, the chord is handed out to a lot of different instruments as you look at the score. And if you think about your recordings like that, you end up, when you simplify each component, the sum of the parts becomes very big. And I think that's key to how to handle your recordings.
Yeah, that's a huge takeaway, folks. I'm a big fan of the symphony. I go whenever I can. And you watch the individuals, the parts that they're playing I mean, they're playing them very well, but each little part is often fairly simple. But these guys are doing this little part, and these guys are doing this little part, and then the cellos do this, and then the violins do this, and all together, it's an amazing experience. But they've kept those parts. Simple's not maybe the best word, but sparse maybe is a better word.
Yeah, and I think that school of thought as well. So I call it linear enjoyment of a song. So you start at the beginning, and there is a line that goes through the song, and that's not always dependent on just the vocal melody. So it could be a fill from the drums, or it could be a little off a guitar, or it could be a certain bit from a keyboard. And I'm always after getting a linear enjoyment from a song, so you keep the listener entertained. And what you do is you hand it off to different parts as it goes through. So they're not just listening to a singer. They listen to the vocal, and then the drum bit, and then a piano bit, and then a guitar bit, and then there's this and this and this. And before they know it, they're at the end of the song and they want to play it again.
Very
All
nice.
right, gentlemen, I'm going to do some more shout outs here. This is fantastic stuff. Actually, I'm really picking up some things I did not know, Mr. Smith, from you. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, so on deck for upcoming next week, I think we shouted it out before. We have Dom Torregrossa. And then on the 27th of October, we have Rob Bennett Music. Many of you may know Rob Bennett for every Thursday at 2 p.m. I caught this week's show. Really good stuff. Then Monday, November 3rd is going to be somewhat of a little surprise, but I can't announce it yet until I know for certain. But November 10th is going to be James Myers, speaking of great drummers. Yes. And then we have Mosh Sia on November 17th. And on the 24th, of course, we have Ron and Jenny. So, yeah. Doing for others, let's just do this. Rebel Rocker, we have DJ Big Red 81, Mike and Don Genesi, D. Lynn, Dell, and there's so many of you that are just unselfishly share streams and links to Facebook and all that, Instagram and all that stuff that you do. It's just amazing. That's why I love these communities. I do want to cue up this next song, if it's okay with you guys. Mr. Smith, the song is Mirage. Why don't you tell us about that?
Okay, this is a classic example of me being asked to do something by somebody, and it took me by surprise. I had no idea it was coming. It's a guy called Deedsville that I met on YouTube, and he had lost his father-in-law, and he came up with an idea. It was initially like a guitar loop and a tiny bit of a drum loop for this song, and he said, would you like to do something with this? And I asked what he was thinking, and he came up with this amazing play on a word, because he was struggling with dealing with what was going on. And he said, I've got this idea for my rage or mirage, because he couldn't see clearly how to figure his way out of this. And it was winding him up. And that I took that cue from that vocal and just ran with it. And honestly, Frank, I had the best time doing this track. I really did, because the initial guitar loop that he threw me, I fell in love with it immediately, and it was easy. Honestly, it was just easy, and especially once he'd given me this concept of a mirage, and it goes back to I think the lyric is about scars. It's some scars, they never fade, like a mirage in the haze. So Chris knows about this kind of thing. Some scars are not always visible, That was the thing as well. Some scars are internal and people don't know that you're carrying them. And that, again, lent itself to this lyric. So I've really got to thank Deedsville for this track, because it was his inspiration that actually brought it to fruition.
Beautiful. All right, let's give it a spin. Mr. Smith, Mirage, inspired by Deedsville. That's actually absolutely beautiful. I want to welcome Ruth Loader. To those of you who don't know her channel, please go offer up some support to Ruth. Amazing supporter in a few of our communities. Just a wonderful... Mr. Smith, man, I wish I could play all your songs. I mean, I had a list of, obviously, the joy of creating that montage. But Can I, Playing for Time, Gambling Man, which is Shauna's and mine.
One of my faves.
Yeah. And Never Too Late. I remember the first song that I ever heard from you was Depeche Mode.
Walking in my shoes. Yeah.
I mean, I swear to God, I ran straight upstairs and Shauna, you got to hear this because she's a huge Depeche Mode. And obviously you heard her note when she talked about your gorgeous singing. But yeah, you're just an amazing talent. And
Bless
I don't
you,
know
man.
what you can't do. So it's pretty cool.
Bless you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, now that we got Frank involved, let's talk about some band stuff.
Ooh.
For those of you who don't know, these two guys, they're in a band.
Yeah,
And it's a great
Laurie's
band.
here.
Hey, Laurie.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm just in time for the band talk.
Yeah. Way to kill my role.
Sorry. Put me in.
Sorry, Dustin.
No. I mean, here we got people across the pond from one another, and they've come together along with Gary Hubbs and Hetriani and formed the Ninth Gate. Both you guys tell everybody how this came to be and what your thought process is and who does what and everything, because you guys don't have a lot of songs yet, but every one of them is really a great song.
We've got a few in the works. Obviously, you know some of the hardships that our good friends going through.
Yes.
So that's soon to come. I will add that Mr. Smith is going to be producing and mixing, mastering the next batch of tracks that we do. So I'm excited about that. But you know what? I got to say, it started off with Mr. Smith, and then Smith can add some Songtember 2022, I think it was.
Yeah.
Whereas we were trying to put something together from something that's from 2006 that I had laying around. And it was anyways, we ran out of time. We couldn't complete what we did, but we went ahead and sent it to Smith and Hubbs and Hetriani, and they took it from there. I'll let Mr. Smith take it from there.
It was Hopesy took hold of it and kind of what was the word? He just slightly changed its direction, if you like, and he made it harder and heavier, basically.
That's
and
all.
Then he threw it to me, and I added a section in the middle where I ended up half-timing this section, which gave Hetriani a different cue for his guitar solo, so Het could go in a different direction with it and do something that he wasn't expecting to do. We used Frank's vocal. It was some of the original vocal from 2006, I think. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was just a kind of everything just magically came together, and out of this totally unexpected situation came this track, and then it was kind of obvious that there was something going on here. There was something going on. I mean, and for me, I can't believe that I get to be in a band with Frank and Hopes and Het. I can't get my head around it. You know, for me, it's wow.
Well, they're equally in our view, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I mean, you ask each individual, and it's sincere. Each individual of this band, and we're all gonna say the same thing. I mean, I don't have to tell you. You all heard my wife's letter when we had Ninth Gate on this show. How much I feel, and I've always said Ninth Gate means more to me than even my music, because it's real, and it was an effort, and it's not like when I go in studio, we say this is what we want. This is like, you can't really say it. Like, you don't want to, because you want to utilize everybody's. Anyways, we don't want to talk about Ninth Gate. I get really excited.
Well,
No, we absolutely want to talk about Ninth Gate, because I think what should be obvious to the community is here are four very talented individual musicians, and the mutual respect that they have for one another is obvious, and it allows them to work in such a collaborative way that the sum is much greater even than the parts, and the parts are excellent. And I think that's why people are excited about the band and what you guys have done, because everyone knows how great you are as individuals, but you can just hear when it has come together. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and it's nice to work with people that like Hubs and Het as well, because we can actually be honest with each other. So, for example, on the last track that we did, Hubsy sent it to me, and I sent it back with, I think I did like a thrash part on the guitar solo, or one of the bits. I went a bit heavy-handed on the drums, and he sent it back saying, "Do you fancy just laying back a little bit on that bit? Just pull it back a little bit." You know, I think I got a little bit excited, but he was absolutely right. You know, and I think that's one of the key elements to the band, is that there's a really nice open line of communication with everybody, and there's no prima donnas, there's no bullshit, there's none of that, and out of it comes a product that I think we can all be proud of, basically.
I think that's a great
You don't cry
way.
over constructive criticism. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's again
exactly.
that professionalism, and you can check your ego at the door, because everybody could have a big ego, but what does that get you?
It's
And
not
what it
even
gets you
criticism,
is
right?
Yeah.
It's
How do we make?
right,
How do
if
we
you
serve
look
the
at it
song?
as criticism, constructive, even constructive, it's almost a thing. But instead, if you're building something,
Right.
Exactly.
you know what I mean, and you're building it together. You know, this brick should be a little bit more up. Oh
Zero
yeah, you're
drama.
right. I can
Right,
see
Rachel.
it. You know, it's just, I love working with these guys. It's
Yeah, you
and
guys
I think I've got to give a shout out as well for Het, because Het's been through, well, I can't imagine what he's been through lately. I can't imagine it. And I've got to say a huge thank you to everybody that's helped support the family with what's happening with the GoFundMe and stuff. It's been unbelievable. So everybody that's been involved in it and that's helped, seriously, bless you all. Thank you.
And here it is Thanksgiving in Canada. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving. I've said it many times. If the world acted a little bit more like our community did towards one another, we'd be in a little better shape.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everybody
This
who has
isn't
helped.
just a community. This is a movement. I love it. I love it. Yep.
And I
It
still have
is.
my
What
candles
we've got
lit.
here is a movement, not just,
Yeah.
I believe that. What were you saying? So, yes, if you're all wondering, Laurie's here in time for the pianist.
Well, of
section.
course.
Of course. Well, and to tell Smitty that we are way overdue. Speaking of Depeche Mode, I heard Frank bring up your other song. We have to do Enjoy the Silence.
Yes.
I can do great.
We've got to do it.
Yeah.
We've got to. Have you picked the song we're going to do? Do we
Enjoy
know?
the Silence.
All right. Yes. Oh, come on.
We have to. I heard you cover it, and then it was
There
a
you
week
go.
later. When I was in Miami, and I heard it at a bar. I heard the DJ playing it. I'm like, "This is our sign."
Right.
I
Okay.
said
You're
this
on.
one. Yeah, let's do it.
You're
I'll
on.
start. Hi, everybody.
Somebody's getting excited.
Woo. My way or the highway, Les says. I'm pretty good when I do collabs. I'm pretty kind.
Oh,
Chris is
you're
testing me right
great to
now.
work with on collabs. You're really easy to work with. It's fabulous.
Thanks. Well,
I mean, you were even kind to me when I sent you the worst green screen video ever in the world.
that was a while ago. You're much better. Well, you painted your room now, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I got it right eventually, but that was because of you. It was my
You were
embarrassment. My embarrassment in front of you forced me
It
to
still
do it
came out
properly.
good, though. Yeah.
We all help each other get better. Sometimes
This is
it's slightly painful, and you go, "Ugh, I need to do better." But that's all right.
Well, if anybody doesn't know, Smitty's referring to we did Moving Out, and we did it with Hugh Caldwell. But that was when, so I knew you as this awesome drummer. I was like, oh my god, this guy can sing. Like your voice, love your voice. So yeah, that was a while
perfect.
ago. And you were in the suit using
Yeah.
the hands.
Yep.
And I said, he's going to be Italian. So I started calling you Giuseppe. I'm like, he's Italian.
Giuseppe.
You forgot I called him Giuseppe. Hey, Giuseppe.
Speaking of which, my Shauna came up with different ideas because she controls everything in my life. And so she's preparing for Halloween. She goes, what do you think of this? It's like, that's Super Mario. She goes, yeah. It's a me, Mario.
Luigi and Mario. Very cute.
So I thought I was going to be Mario, and she goes, no, I'm going to be Mario. You're going to be Luigi. He's just the dorky guy. He doesn't do anything, does he?
The stinky plumber. No, I don't know what the plumber crack.
Well, it's good that you're doing it. Otherwise, it would be cultural appropriation, and we don't do that.
I was going to say, it's better than the year that you did blackface at work, Frank.
Oh, Jesus. Let's not. Come on, man. We're live here.
That never happened.
You made a mistake. You made a mistake. I was going to come on with a mask, but I couldn't find my ski mask, Smitty.
Okay, no, there's a difference.
Oh.
I didn't do blackface. Okay, I went as a reggae. I went as, and this is quite some time ago. I went as Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I had a joint in my mouth, like I had the whole costume. I had.
And HR pulled you aside.
I don't know if it's, it's terrible.
Frank,
all right. So let's talk pianists.
Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a pianist for Halloween.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I'll dress like Synthworks. Shave my head like a big helmet. Just kidding, Synth.
Shave my head.
Yeah, no,
I've got to say as well, I really enjoyed that Synthworks as host last week. That was fabulous.
Yeah,
totally.
That was
all good.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, I tried to say that twice, but I am going to work more on our song after this show.
Again, let's see what happens. We're doing exactly what you're talking about. A little collaboration thing. I challenged Laurie a little bit, and we'll see what happens. And might not work, or it might be amazing.
I wish I could play like Jeremy, who's in my son's band that you saw at the beginning of the show. He's amazing. He's been around.
Yeah, well, that's it.
With some big names, yeah. In fact, I just found out that his grandfather, so that's Jeremy Berlin, his grandfather was Irving Berlin, the guy that wrote White Christmas.
No.
No.
Seriously?
What?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Damn, he's got good genetics then.
And James Taylor, because they're all from the island.
Wow.
So he played with a bunch of pretty famous people. And now he gets to play with my famous son. So there.
I love it.
Good stuff.
Right.
Let's let him rip.
Yes. Let's
OJ got blocked for saying Pookie. OJ McFaggins. Okay, yeah, let's do the pianists.
Yes, so obviously we all know this segment, but it does mean a lot to Laurie and all the pianists and composers in our communities. Just amazing talents. Unfortunately, they don't get as much love as somebody as good looking as Chris Lane Sr. gets. No, all joking aside, please offer up some support to these brilliant talents. And Laurie's got the look. What's going on?
I'm just reading the chat. Go on.
All right.
I'm doing what folk can't do.
So this week we've added Michelle Lefebvre
cool.
to this. Yeah. So but the music is still by Chris Durham, who also had an amazing stream the other day. So let's give this a spin and we'll get back to our show. That was wonderful.
Bravo.
You're killing me with your comments.
there were some pretty cool ones. You guys were on a roll.
So mature. It's so
I
mature.
typed 3 things and said, nope, don't do it. The editor edited himself for a change.
Yeah.
But all seriousness, I really appreciate all the keyboardists. That is a great. If I do it, it sounds like I'm playing with boxing gloves on. So that's why I'm friends with Laurie and Mike Molino and other people's like, hey, help a brother out.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of amazing keyboardists in our community. All joking aside.
yeah, we sure do.
And I was so like when Mr. Smith came up with his song "Timber" of Can I. That was just brilliant. It's like, this fucker plays piano too.
I know, it's really kind of not fair, right?
Okay, bye then.
Aggravating.
Throwing everything away. I'm like trying to write a song that
Doink, 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 doink.
yeah.
Well, everybody has their talents, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, here's my.
This is it.
Five of them.
Here's my keyboard.
Oregon, like Pete.
I am in no way a pianist. I'm not. That was like a bit of a con. I just practiced that one piece until I could get it right.
Yeah.
And that was it.
really
I
true,
can't
though.
just sit down and play a piano.
You're a small pianist.
That's funny.
Well, no,
'cause
I'm
I
not
can
admitting to that.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
I can only play 2
DJ, I'm a
full
little
songs.
busy here. You sent me
Let It
an email?
Be and Crocodile Rock.
What can you do, Frankie? Crocodile
I
Rock?
can only play 2, Let It Be and Crocodile Rock from start to finish.
That's cute.
But I've
Oh,
practiced
There's only 3
it
notes
since
in
I
each
was
of them.
12. But that's about it. Everything else is
He's
too
got me
finished.
whipped.
Well, I can't do originals. Well, I can, but I struggle, and Chris knows I'm
Well, and that's the thing. That's we challenge each other and get better. You know, when
like, okay, it's in B major, so that's a lot of black notes.
yeah, well, because
I'll
I tune
figure
my
something out. Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm a pain to work with because I tune all my guitars down half step, have for decades. So
Yeah, I
That
think the
makes
last song I helped you with was in that key.
it's what, yeah, well, probably E flat in that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is where we challenge ourselves doing the collabs with Laurie, and I like to play bass and everything, but a couple times she said, "Well, guess what? You're the lead singer on this," and you know, oh, and sing Lionel Richie. Oh, okay, sure.
You did Lionel well. You did Lionel very well.
Well, again, it was a challenge, and
another
I
one with
appreciated the
multi-talent.
challenge, you know, and that's how we get better, right?
Chris
For sure.
Hendricks. Doug.
I
love
have
it.
so many, like, what's that,
All right.
Frankie?
I was reading Doug's comment. Chris Hendricks.
I knew.
I love it. All right, I'm going to continue with some shoutouts. So
I'll
we can-
leave.
We still have a couple songs to play from Mr.
Hi,
Smith.
Smitty. Mwah, you're doing awesome. It's great to hear
thank
more.
you,
about
Laurie.
Chris,
Thank
you're
you
doing
so
Always great
much,
to see you,
Laurie,
dear.
'cause
You too. I'll see you after. Don't
See
forget
you
to plug
Thursday.
Chris' show too.
the what?
Plug Chris's show too. Chris, plug yourself later.
Yeah,
Thursday nights. Okay, bye.
say it.
See you later.
Plug whose show? Sorry, what did I miss?
She wants me to plug my
yours.
own show.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
of
I'm
course.
on
That's
Thursdays,
coming
and I just yap for 3 hours. So
No, you're gonna. So Javel puts us every Friday in the mornings. I need my glasses. Yes. Dan Anderson's channel. These are some mentions that we want to shout out, and we do every week. Obviously, we have Valerie Bott with the Friday Night Song Club at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Charlie Gabaldon. Yes, and then really what kickstarts my weekend, and shortly after the show, maybe parts into Pole Vault's and Sunshine Archer's show, is when I finally crash. But Mr. Smith, every Friday night at 8:30, we were talking backstage how much I really dig this show. It has so many different pockets and segments and stuff like that. I just really find it interesting, and every week is something different, and it's really cool stuff. So Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then we go right into Pole Vault and Sunshine Archer. And then from there, we go on to Laurie's Mishmosh Friday Night Hang. We go right into Gary Hubbs and then into Leela Verse, and that kickstarts the whole weekend for us. I know Freedom Redbird has moved her show over to Saturday nights now at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You also have the Nut House at 10 p.m. Maybe 10 p.m. I'm not sure. I need to update that. Please go offer up some support to Allie Patches and Rich New Designs, who just unselfishly sit there throughout their shows. They're constantly on, but when they're on, they're not stepping over streams. They're actually on to direct you to what's going on. So many channels we don't tap the bell to, and that's fine. Everybody, I pretty much tap everybody's bell. Ding. But if you don't, you're not going to get the notification. So if that's what you choose, jump onto Allie's and Rich's channels and you'll know what's going on. Anyways, yes, and Chris and Dom are going to plug their shows. I know I still have the Sunday slide here, but I know Chris, and you've had this show every Thursday for the longest time.
Couple years now.
Yeah. And that's going amazing. And I see you have guests and stuff. Why don't you
it's
talk
fun.
a little bit about this, and then we'll go right into Mr. Smith's next song.
It's
Give
real
yourself a
simple.
plug.
The show is just whatever I feel like talking about, and it's called Chris and Friends for a reason. And I just have my friends come on. Laurie comes on frequently. Mr. Smith has been a guest. I've had Ron Ward on. I've had James Myers on here recently, and we just talk about general music things. We play a little bit of music. I try and play 3 or 4 songs that came out that week, but we're not really a music show. We just talk about the art of being a musician more than anything else. And then we talk about stupid stuff. We talk a lot of food because I like food, and I like cooking food, and I like chefing it up, and many of our listeners seem to like food too. So we talk about that kind of stuff. We don't talk about politics. Who cares? Boring. We don't talk about the world in general. We just talk about our little fun place in it. So if you just want to listen to some people yap about stuff a little bit, Thursday nights come on and hang out a little bit.
That's wonderful. All right, so I'm going to finish off with the rest of these. We have Niels Han Dynasty, who I just saw him in here. I thought I did. Yes, yeah, I'm sure I did.
He's in the chat.
Yeah, just another amazing channel with a lot of great content there. SC Wolverines, please go check out that channel as well. Remember, every Saturday, Camp G-May that we shouted out at the beginning. Axon Nacho is Mondays and Wednesdays, 11 p.m. We have the Falcro. I saw Richard in here earlier. The Mix Club with Rhett. Michael's Songs. The Real Justine Kasprick. I think she's back up and running. I think it's still Sundays.
It is. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Scotty Butters every Tuesday live music. David Joshua, I don't know if he has his Sunday live streams, but I know Anarchy, Adorable Anarchy, and Tim, the Smugcast cast is back. And then our great friend Rob Bennett, please go check out this show, Thursdays, 2 p.m., the Vault Live Show. I've met quite a few people from there already who've come over to my channel to support, and I noticed they're at other channels as well. I love you all in these communities. Keep doing what we're doing. Keep creating. Keep being kind to one another. And I'm not going to get into it, but I do feel that I have to say something. If there's somebody in our communities, or to the peoples in our communities, that are working with AI, let's just be kind. You know what I mean? Let's just not jump on these people. That's all I want to say. Because I think we customize the meaning, like what I believe. If you don't like AI, don't use pictures. If you don't like AI, don't use Chat GPT. If you did, all I'm saying is let's just be kind to one another and let people create. All right, Mr. Smith, we got more music to talk about.
Okay, what we're going to talk about? Which music? What's this? Tell me more.
The next one on cue is Slowly Dissolving.
Oh, right,
Yes.
yeah. What do you want to know? Do you want me to be honest about the lyric?
Yeah. Here we go.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's just this idea of, there's two real motivations behind it. The first one is self-responsibility. We're all responsible for ourselves, and there isn't any Superman. Nobody's going to crash through the window in a cape and save us. We have to save ourselves. But it's very difficult when things are difficult to save yourself, and sometimes you feel like you are just fading away. And that's essentially what this song's about.
Oh. All right, let's give it a spin. Slowly Dissolving.
There are no superheroes and no Batman. And my own salvation sits in my hands. Maybe there's some heaven or some kind of hell. Which way I'm going, I just can't tell, just can't tell. It's nothing to do with magic. No, it's nothing to do with magic. The price I paid is tragic. Here I go, slowly dissolving. There is no Neverland, and I'm no Peter Pan. Life slips through my fingers like grains of sand. If there's a heaven or some afterlife, what have I got to do to get it right? Get it right. It's nothing to do with magic. It's nothing to do with magic. The price I paid is tragic. Here I go, slowly dissolving.
Very cool song.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I really love the synth bass on that. That really drives that piece, and it just, yeah, good stuff there.
Nice one. Nice one.
Yeah, it really is. And again, thoughtful lyrics in that too.
Yeah,
So-
it was. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It. I don't like to wear my heart on my sleeve too much on my with my lyrics on my songs. I like to be a little bit. What's the word? I suppose evasive in some ways. And there's a simple reason. It's because. So, for example, can you imagine being in Fleetwood Mac and writing Rumours and having to go and repeat that ad nauseum, and it's been such a personal disaster, and you have to keep reciting these lyrics of this personal disaster? Well, I've never been into that, so I kind of like to dress things up a little bit so that I can take a step back from it myself if I come to perform it, basically, and that's a prime example of that.
Yeah, and I think that probably it makes the song a little more universal in that it's open for a little bit of interpretation for the listener. That you're not spelling out, this is what I'm talking about, boys and girls. And I think that's a good thing, to get that little bit of a separation as the writer. And I mean, this was an ongoing discussion early in the days of Songwriters Anonymous. Dom would write totally from his personal experience, and I would make stuff up. And then somewhere along the line, we kind of switched roles a little bit. And I'm writing much more personally than I ever did. And his imagination has gone wild, and he's imagining music stores and all these things that never happened. So, there's room for both. But I wanted to do a little follow-up question on production. I mean, you've got all this studio experience, and most of us are basically our own engineers, our own producers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make the decision when you're working on tracks and you're mixing to say, I'm done? This is what it needs to be. I could keep twiddling with this and keep going and going and going, but this is the line in the sand. I'm done. This is what it's supposed to sound like.
Okay, so I get a rough feeling that I think it's mixed, and then what I do is I turn it off and I walk away. And I come back 24 hours later.
That's awesome.
And I sit down and I play it. I give it one listen, and I have one question. Can I hear everything? And if I can hear everything, that's it. It's finished. And it's really simple. And that way I don't get too involved in thinking, oh, could I just get plus 7 dB on that guitar? And could I have a bit more 16K on that snare drum? Do you know what I mean? It's really simple. It's if this was my first listen, can I hear all of the parts? And if I can, that'll do.
And that's exactly why I wanted to ask you that question. And if you get nothing else from this, boys and girls, that right there is gold. That Mr. Smith just made your mix 100% better and saved you hours and hours of time of twiddling and ending up with something that's worse than what you started with. So, and I mean, your stuff always sounds amazing, and that's why I wanted you to kind of share maybe your thought process on that.
Well, you know yourself as well. If you're not careful, you can get engaged in a fight with your own audio where you try to make everything louder than everything else. Well, you lose it at that point. You lose it.
It can't.
You know? So
I think, and that's the key thing is like give everything its space. You talked about editing the notes and what you played earlier, but same thing sonically. Edit that. You can't pile on every EQ and every reverb and everything because it just sounds like mush.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just if you can hear it. But the main piece of advice with your mix, the first thing you've got to do is walk away. Because there's two things that happen when you mix in a song as well that I would suggest to anybody. The first thing is that you get too close to it, and it's very difficult to make an objective decision. And then the second thing is that because you've spent so long listening to it, you can fool yourself into thinking that you can hear everything. So the best thing to do is shut it off, walk away, come back the next day and put it through the can I hear it all test. That's it.
I think that is fantastic advice. As an editor of books and publications, because I know my subject, I do find myself occasionally reading things that aren't there. And I have to go, what did that gentleman or that woman actually write versus what I think they wrote? And it's exactly that same concept.
Yeah.
Just listen to what's really there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was taught years ago, I don't know if you both agree to it, 2 hours. 2-hour session max. I will never exceed 2 hours working on a track, even if it's writing. I have to leave it or else I've lost it.
You've got to step away from it. You have to step away from it all the time. And I think it's something it's a combination of things. One is fatigue, whether that's just brain fatigue or ear fatigue.
Yeah.
But the other is you stop being an objective listener. And basically, once your music goes out, people hear it, other people hear it, and they hear it the first time and they go, hey, I like this. This is great. And I can enjoy the bass drum or I can enjoy the bass guitar. Once you spend more than a few hours on it yourself, your objectivity goes, it disappears, and you fall into the rabbit hole of the song, and you've gone down the drain with it, basically.
Well said.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Fatigue is a real thing, and the mental fatigue, and your body gets tired, your ears get tired. If you're a vocalist, you've got maybe 45 minutes of really singing powerfully, and then you're done, and it's time to hang it up, and and do it the next day if need be.
Yeah, exactly. And as well with this, so I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier. When you come in to record something or mix something or produce something, whatever you want to call it, you have to know what you're doing, or record a vocal. So do your practicing away from the studio. Don't do it at the microphone. Do it in your bedroom. Do it in the shower when you get up. Do it on your way to work. Do it on your way home from work. Do it whenever you can. Do it in your garden shed or when you sat out having a beer. And then when you walk into that studio, your first couple of takes, if you know your stuff, you'll get it. You'll put it in.
Yes.
That's absolutely rock solid advice. And I think it kind of goes back to something I mentioned earlier, because we have these amazing tools. I'm on kind of a Beatles kick right now. And I'm not, again, I wouldn't call myself a huge Beatles fan, but their body of work is amazing. And the sonics that they got, 4 tracks, boys and girls.
Yep.
It was a master's class in how that's done. And again, we've got 128 tracks minimum digitally, and we can work stuff to death. We can be lazy and see, maybe we'll see what happens and everything. And I think, again, getting back to that recording studio mindset, I got 4 tracks, I've got limited time, let's do it right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And if you know what you're doing on the way in, the chances of you getting it right in the first few takes are just massively improved. So that the more you rehearsed before you go in and stand in front of the microphone or plug your guitar in, the more chance you've got of getting it right. But the thing is as well, you'll enjoy it more because you kind of have this sense of release. When you're excited to go into the studio and you think, yes, all right, I'm going in, I'm in at 3:00, and you get to stand in front of the microphone and let it out. You'll end up enjoying it more because of that. It won't become a laborious affair, and you're not fighting yourself. You'll just be enjoying your own performance, and then you can sit back and enjoy it later yourself as well.
Yeah, maybe you gentlemen agree with this. I would like to think you can hear confidence. When you've practiced and you go in, you have your best performance because you know the stuff and you're confident and you can just let it go. And I think that's where the magic happens. Then that's where that little lick that maybe you played with it comes out and you go, I got it. That sounds amazing.
Well, it's almost like going back to what Mr. Smith was saying earlier, rehearse, right?
Yeah.
You're stepping back so you can hear something or learn something or just perfect it. Like, you're not going to get it. I've heard people, I was up all night long for 6 hours working on this. It's like, ooh. It probably sounded just as good the first hour, or the first 2 hours. Because the rest must have just confused. I would just be mush.
Oh, yeah. Well, in business, you have this concept of the point of diminishing returns. Yeah. You can continue to pour effort and money into something, but you're never getting it back. And I think that absolutely applies to what we do. At some point, you're overworking it. It's never going to get better than what you did. Be done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I do think afterwards as well, once you get used to that way of thinking, I think you enjoy it more yourself afterwards. Otherwise, you look back at it and think, wow, that was hard work. And you're still never convinced that it's quite good. So there's something in it for your enjoyment in the long term as well,
Absolutely. One would hope that when you're done with this, you can look at it and go, I might be able to do this better someday, but this was as good as I could do today. And it was fun, and I'm glad I did it, and I've captured it. Yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we ready for the next song, the last song?
Let's do it. Excited.
List? Yeah.
A new one.
This is a new one. Yeah, I love this one. Tell us about this, Mr. Smith. This one's That Dirty Bass.
Yeah, this is dead simple. It's my love of Geddy Lee's bass sound. Now, Geddy Lee always has a lot of racket going on, whether it's from a Rickenbacker or whether it's a precision through his Sans amp with a lot of dirt on it and stuff. And it has this kind of gnarly, growly, there's just this stuff going on. And one of the things I've noticed is that we don't hear a lot of bass, real bass, in dance music. So I thought, let's combine the two. So I've taken Geddy Lee's bass sort of cue and something just a bit more EDM. And I thought, forget it, doesn't need lyrics. Let's just get off on the bass sound. And that's it. It's just me enjoying myself, playing bass to some 4 on the floor kick drum. And there is a bit of guitar from a friend of mine as well on this. The couple of touches that he did.
Love it. That Dirty Bass. Let's have a listen. Brand new, just came out a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. Please follow the links. perfect title for it too. And if you didn't, yeah, I mean, all your music, I don't think I've ever said this, but I could hear the classic rock in every one of your tracks, mixed in with some late 80s, but I can really hear the influence, that classic rock.
Right.
Yeah, in your through your music. And I know you're huge on Peter Gabriel, and if I can recall, and obviously Genesis and as a whole. And I can the progressions, the chords, yeah, I can really pick that up, Smitty.
Nice one. Nice one. And I just think it was nice for a change to just bring the bass to the forefront and not be too concerned about putting a song out. Just get off on the riff, you know, because I think we all do that as well sometimes. We just, whether we play a guitar or a bass or whatever it is, we're just jamming away for a bit. You know, I'm loving this. And it's a kind of a personal thing, you know, you sat in front of your amp for an hour, whatever it is. And I just thought, yeah, why not? Just do that, you know.
No,
You
it
know
was
what? And
fantastic.
you're so right. And because I'm going to add to this, because I'm not making this about me, but just now what you said with the instrument. Now, obviously, I can't play bass like that. Like I've told everybody, I play an instrument just enough to know how to write a song. But exactly what you just described, a song like this, I'd be singing, it would come to me in the car, and I'd be singing if I was stuck in traffic for 4 hours. I'd have this in repeat in my head, singing along and talking into my phone and starting a song. But I hear what you're saying, because once you get that riff, that melody or whatever it is, you go with it. This is just an awesome jam. I really dig this one.
I think that's what it is. It was just a jam, just a nice jam for a change, rather. Because don't get me wrong, it's like you say, I could have put some lyrics on it, and I don't know. It just didn't seem. It seemed to detract from the initial fun that I had when I come up with that bass sound and I came up with that riff. I thought that turned me on more than anything I've done for a while. So why do I need to put any? This cake does not need frosting, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like we were talking about, when you know you're done, be done. And it was done, and it was great.
Yeah, that's it. Nice one. Thank you.
It's fun when you can grab an instrument, like you say, and sit in front of your amp, or, you know, play in your DAW, or do something, and you're just liking the sound of it. You know, like I like the reverb, or I like this arpeggio, or something, and that really starts to speak to you. Sometimes that becomes a song, sometimes not. Either way, it's fine.
That's it. That's it. And you know, I mean, it's not very often that something like that comes along, because I tend to do songs more than anything. But it was just this. It was an interesting juxtaposition between the Geddy Lee rock style bass sound and the sort of EDM thing, really.
Yeah. Very cool. Guys, it's been a great show. I'll start off by saying, Mr. Smith, thank you for coming on the show. Yeah, I mean, I know you were on the show with Ninth Gate, but I really wanted people to really understand the talent you have as a musician, a bassist, a guitarist, a singer, a songwriter, a drummer, a keyboardist, a producer. You're the real deal, and I respect you and I appreciate you. And you've chosen Chris as your co-host. We spoke backstage. I mentioned to Mr. Smith how you made me feel when you introduced me on Stoner Fest. I actually have that recorded, and during a 5-year anniversary that I'm about to have, you are definitely part of that. And I'll explain how that made me feel. Anyways, I appreciate you both. A special thanks to all the moderators, especially Folk Punk and DJ Big Red, Laurie's Mishmosh, the real Justine Kasprick, Pookie Ann, who's in the chat, Mike and Don Genesi, and I'm going to miss at least one or two, and I'm going to kick myself in the butt. Valerie, and I'm just trying to think who else was in here, but I appreciate you all. Thank you all for making this show what it is, especially you, DJ Big Red. Any closeout words there, Mr. We'll start with Chris.
Well, it was my great honor to be asked by Mr. Smith to co-host. We have a good time talking to one another, and it's fun for me to talk a little bit of shop with great musicians and hopefully draw out a little bit from the questions to help the community get to know the artist a little bit better. So I was honored to be here. It was big fun for me. And I do want to, one thing, we talked about the charity album, Tremor Bear, if you're still out there.
He is.
Me and Tremor Bear got one too. And he called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, do you want to work together?" And I said, "Oh, hell yeah." And I'm pretty excited about it. So that's again what we're talking about. It's great to collaborate with people. It's just, it takes you into a different place, and it's really fun to do. I urge people to reach out to people and experiment and try some different things, because you'll get rewarded. And these guys in Ninth Gate, what a great band. Exactly what we're talking about here. So it was fun for me to be here, and I appreciate both you guys.
Nice one, Chris. Nice one. Well,
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Frank, what do I say, brother? What do I say? Just the fact that you've asked me to come on the show was amazing. What you do with the Community Pulse is just fantastic, because it's all about spreading the love. And we see it everywhere. It's too easy to not do that, it seems. And what you said before was right. This isn't just a community, it's more of a movement. And it was said, if what we do with this movement was spread into the rest of the world would be a much better place. And being able to be in Ninth Gate with you as well is something that is hard for me to get my head around. It's humbling, to be honest. And then for you to put the time and effort in with DJ Big Red and with Chris to come on as well so kindly to basically just promote me and my music, I find it really hard to get my head around, and I don't really know how to say thank you. I can't say thank you enough, and thank you doesn't really seem enough. And there are other reasons why I'd like to say thanks to you, Frank, but they're a bit more personal. I think you know some of those, But in the future, anything that the pair of you need, you just ask, and I am there. This has been an absolute pleasure for me to be involved in. I'd love to say thank you to everybody in the chat as well who's been here, everybody who's pressed the like button or just leaves a comment on the replay. I can't believe the promo got so many views.
I think your thumbnail had a lot to do with, holy smokes, that's pretty cool.
What went on with that, Frank? That was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then as for the moderators, DJ Big Red, you're a bit of a hero for all the work you do. I cannot believe the work that you pull off every week in this community. Folk Punk, you're a gentleman, and you're a pleasure to be around. And thank you. And the rest of the moderator team, just God bless you all. And this has been a real pleasure and a real beautiful slice of my musical history. Thank you.
All right. We can chat right after the show backstage, but we can't close out the show and play the final track from Stephen Ewart, his rendition of Change the World, without you saying those fine words that you should say at the end of every one of your shows.
I love you all. Deal with it.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Smith.